Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining me today. Welcome to Empower Fantastic Life. Find your power, live without limits. So today we're going to talk about something I think we can all relate to, learning how to dance with porcupines. And no, not the actual spiky animals, but those, difficult, prickly people we all have to deal with in our lives.
So let's jump right in. I want you to think for a second. Who is that person for you? You know who I'm talking about. Maybe it's that colleague whose emails are just super blunt, or that family member who somehow always makes every conversation about them. Well, in his amazing book, Bob Phillips calls these people porcupines. And it's such a perfect metaphor, right? They aren't trying to be mean, but man, they are prickly, hard to get close to, and sometimes they hurt you without even realizing it.
And here's the absolute game changer, the central idea that flips everything on its head. It's usually not about malice. It's about style. Think about it like this. What if those prickly moments aren't about someone trying to hurt you? What if it's just a clash of styles? It's like you're trying to waltz and your partner's doing the tango. Of course you're going to step on each other's toes, not because you want to, but because you're moving to totally different music. The whole point is, if we can just learn their dance steps, we can navigate these interactions so much more smoothly.
Okay, so how do we actually learn these steps? Well, the very first thing we have to do is understand the dance floor itself. There's a map, and this framework breaks everyone's social style down into 4 different animal types. Figuring out where you are on this map, and just as importantly, where your porcupine is, that's the key. That's how you become a better dancer.
And you know what? This whole map really comes down to 2 simple questions. First, what do you focus on most? Are you all about getting the task done, or are you more focused on the people involved? And second, what's your pace? Are you pretty direct and fast-paced, or are you a bit more indirect and slow-paced? Depending on your answers, you'll land in one of these 4 boxes, each with its own animal personality.
First up, we've got the lion. This is your classic driver. They are all about results, goals, efficiency. Think of that boss who walks into a meeting and just says, "All right, what's the bottom line?" When they skip the small talk, they're not trying to be rude. They're just wired to get things done, plain and simple.
All right, next up is the otter. Oh, you know the otter. They're the life of the party, the super creative, enthusiastic one. They ask, who else is coming? They're the friend who plans this epic group trip, but then completely forgets to book the rental car. It's because they thrive on the big ideas and the social energy, but those little details, they can sometimes slip through the cracks.
Then we have the owl. Owls are your analytical types. They are logical, precise, and they always ask why. Why is this the best approach? Why does this data support that conclusion? They need facts, they need evidence, and they need time to think. Their biggest fear is getting it wrong, so they're very careful. This is definitely the person who reads 50 online reviews before buying a simple coffee maker. You know the type.
And last but certainly not least, we have the golden retriever. These are the absolute heart of any group. They're always asking, but how will this decision affect the team? They remember your birthday, they check in on you, they are all about harmony and support. But that same desire for harmony means they can really struggle with change, and they will avoid conflict at all costs, even when a tough conversation is needed. Okay, so we've met our 4 animals, but here comes maybe the most important insight of all. People aren't porcupines 24/7. They're quills, those difficult, prickly behaviors. They only come out when that person is under stress. And once you get that, it becomes so much easier not to take it personally. So here's exactly how it plays out. When the pressure is on, each animal's greatest strength flips and becomes its biggest weakness. That decisive lion, if they feel like they're losing control, they suddenly become a dictator. The expressive otter, if they feel ignored or unappreciated, they can get really dramatic and lash out. The precise owl, when you push them for a fast answer, they just shut down, withdraw, and get critical. And that agreeable golden retriever, threaten their sense of stability, and they won't fight you. They'll just become silently resistant. So, what are we supposed to do about all this? Well, here's the secret. You can't change them. You literally cannot pull the quills out of a porcupine. The real art, the real dance, is learning how to adapt your steps. It's about meeting them where they are, especially when they're stressed, and adjusting your rhythm to match theirs. So let's get practical. How do you dance with a lion? How do you talk to that direct, goal-oriented person without feeling like you're getting steamrolled? It's actually pretty straightforward. You just have to speak their language. Number 1, get straight to the point. Don't bury the lead. Give them the bottom line first. Second, talk about results and outcomes. And third, this is huge, give them options.
Lions have a deep need to be in control, so when you give them choices, you're respecting that need, and they'll be so much more likely to work with you.
Okay, what about the otter? That super enthusiastic, creative person. How do you work with all that amazing energy without the whole project just flying off the rails into chaos? With an otter, you've got to match their vibe. Be enthusiastic, be sociable. Let them talk about their big dreams and ideas, because that's their magic. Once you've celebrated their vision, you can gently help them focus. Say something like, "That sounds incredible. What's the very first step we could take to make that happen?" See? You're not crushing their dream. You're helping them build the runway to land the plane.
All right, now for the owl, the logical, quiet, data-driven person. How on earth do you build trust with them when they seem so reserved, maybe even a little skeptical? Well, for an owl, your excitement doesn't really matter. You need to bring the data. Bring the spreadsheet, lay out your case with facts, evidence, logic. And then, this part is absolutely crucial. You have to give them time and space to think. Pushing an owl for a quick decision is the worst thing you can do. It's like shoving a contract in their face and saying, "Sign it now." They'll just retreat and shut down completely.
And what about our dear golden retrievers? How do we work with that supportive, harmony-loving person, especially when we have to introduce a change that might rock the boat?
First things first, you have to slow down. A fast pace feels really threatening to a golden retriever. You need to show them that you genuinely care about them as a person and about the team's well-being. Reassure them. Say, "I know this is a change, but we're going to get through it together, and I'm here to support you." It all comes down to this. They need to feel safe before they can be brave.
So as we start to wrap this up, I want to be really clear about something. This isn't about being fake or manipulative. It's not about becoming some kind of social chameleon who changes their personality for everyone. No. These are tools to help you build something so much more important: genuine connection and true maturity.
And this really gets to the heart of it all. Maturity isn't about changing your fundamental style. It's about learning how to adapt it for the good of the people around you. You're still you, but you learn to sand down your own sharp edges. You learn to manage your own quills so that it's easier for other people to get close. Sometimes it's about choosing to value the relationship more than you value being right.
So, my question for you is this. Think about that person you pictured right at the beginning, the porcupine in your life. Now that you have this map, what's their style? And more importantly, what is just one small dance step you can practice with them this week? Just one tiny shift in how you communicate. What will it be and with whom?
You've been listening to Empower Fantastic Life, Jaeger Empowerment Academy. See you next time. Bye-bye.